welcome to DH Newsroom. Today we are going to discuss about the AI City project in Bidadi. For the last few weeks this has grabbed the headlines, especially after K Shivakumar took over as the Chief Minister of Karnataka. We all know that this was a dream project of Kumaraswamy when he was the Chief Minister of Karnataka in 2006, when he was in alliance with the BJP. However, 20 years after, things have completely changed. The Congress, which was then opposing the project, is now going ahead with it, whereas the BJP and the JDS are completely opposing it. So in this political battle, which has different angles to it, are we really losing focus over what the farmers really want? To discuss this issue more in detail, I have my colleagues Naveen Menezes and Ashwin BM, who have been tracking this issue closely from the ground. So welcome to the show, Naveen. Welcome, Ashwin. So Naveen, my first question to you would be, since you have been covering civic issues in Karnataka and Bangalore especially for many years now, you have also seen how K Shivakumar as Deputy Chief Minister was trying to go ahead with the tunnel road project and things like that. Can you tell us something about his affinity for big projects and what really makes this very dear to him?
See, although Bidadi Township is a project conceptualized by H.D. Kumaraswamy, if it was not for K Shivakumar, it wouldn't have seen the light of the day at the moment. And as you know, K Shivakumar loves big projects, whether it is tunnel road, the garbage contract, and now this is 7,400 acre Bidadi Township. What stands out is that land acquisition is not at all easy. And yet he has taken a political gamble, especially more so because Kanakapura is just a neighboring area.
It's in the same district.
Yes, same district. Yeah. Under these circumstances, and despite the well-known oppositions, he has gone ahead with the project. Preliminary and the speed at which it is moving is also interesting. See, preliminary notification was issued last year. In just a year's time, they are now issuing final notification. This is a massive speed at which it is moving. Other land acquisitions that we have seen, it takes 2 years, 3 years, and at the end the project does not take off at all. Here the survey, identify ownership, everything has been done in just a matter of 1 year, which means I think the project will see the light of the day because it is K Shivakumar who is helming it, and he is used to all these oppositions, hard political decisions. But in this fight, what is missing out is what is the support that farmers are giving to this.
Right. But could you just give our viewers a basic idea about what this project exactly is? So what will we see new in this place, and in what way will it affect, or basically how will it influence Bengaluru's?
Okay, see, there is always a push for decongesting Bangalore. Okay, and this government says is one of the ways to decongest Bangalore, and at the same time there is a pushback from the farmers because end of the day it is their land on which this township is being proposed. This is a 7,400 acre township. Out of this, nearly 2,000 acre is for residential layout, where approximately 20,000 sites might come up, and the rest is for the commercial development, where we may see tech parks, industries, and shopping malls, etc. See, so far what we know is that few companies have shown interest, but what is the scale of demand, that is still not known. How many farmers how many companies have asked for this kind of land, we don't know. And interestingly, the KIDB was doing this job for many years of providing land for the companies, and this time it is the GBIT who is taking this bet, and we don't know who are the players, who are the interested parties. Those details are still not clear. But what I can see is that with K Shivakumar as a Chief Minister and with Bidadi Township, lot of traction and real estate boom may move towards South Bangalore, which was so far concentrated in North and East Bangalore. But Sujay, now that you follow political developments and DK Shivakumar is going ahead with the project despite a lot of pushback, what do you think about his political stake?
Yeah, absolutely. There is no doubt that this is his first major challenge as Chief Minister. And in my personal opinion, the fact that this has blown up to this level is also partially having to do with him taking over as Chief Minister. Because we have to keep in mind that Bidadi is in the center of Old Mysore region, where the Vokkaliga community is found in very high numbers. And incidentally, both DK Shivakumar and HD Kumaraswamy are leaders from the same community. So obviously, after the era of former Prime Minister HD Devegowda, the question of who will be the next leader of the Vokkaliga community, everybody has been asking about it. So definitely that battle for the Vokkaliga one-upmanship is there between the two. So even though the roles are reversed, as in Kumaraswamy, who once proposed this, is now opposing this, and DK Shivakumar has also started supporting it now, that apart, the basic fight here is to ensure that in this region, where at least 70 to 75% of the concerned farmers are from the Vokkaliga community, both are trying to establish themselves as being pro-community, pro-farmers, and somehow trying to rally behind that community support for the next 2028 election. So what we have also seen is that even though Kumaraswamy is a native of Hassan, all his political career has been in the erstwhile Ramnagar district, which is today Bangalore South. And DK Shivakumar himself is also a native of Bangalore South. So there was no better place for them to have their big battle here for Vokkaliga upmanship. So that way the battle is playing out. We have also seen how hard they fought in Ramnagara, Chanpatna and different constituencies. And depending on how this turns out and whether people will actually favor this or not, one of the two parties may take advantage in the upcoming polls, and perhaps even
and
later.
When I went to Bidadi, what farmers told me is that why this project in Bidadi, why not in Kanakapura, which is home constituency of DK Shivakumar. So that's a question opposing farmers are asking.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I want to ask Ashwin now, because he has been relentlessly covering this issue from the ground, and he has spoken to farmers who are opposing as well as supporting. So Ashwin, what is the primary concern of those farmers who are opposing this project?
See, Sujay, in fact, I had a conversation with one of the leaders today, and he says that anxiety is still there, and they are still hopeful that CM will drop this project and he will move it to elsewhere. But what I saw in the ground is that according to the data, over 10,500 landowners who fall in this acquisition racket, 8,000 of them are marginalized farmers who own like less than an acre of land, and their entire livelihood depends on it. So the farmer says is that other than this profession, they don't know any other thing.
So would it then be right to say that the farmers who are basically opposing this project are smaller landholders who have an acre or less than an acre of land, whereas the ones who are supporting are more comfortable financially, who may have 3-4 acres of land and who have greater bandwidth? Is that right?
Yeah. And my observation also, to add to what Ashwin said, if you have a lot of land and only part of it is notified, he stands to gain more, because the land that is not notified, the value is going to shoot up once the Bidadi Township project takes shape. So what I have also observed is big landowners are not opposing, but whereas as he said, small farmers with 1 to 2 acres of land are opposing because they have everything to lose. Their livelihood, their inherited property and more.
But Ashwin, tell me one thing. One of the major points which the opposing farmers are putting up is that this is fertile land, and thanks to the fertile land, they are having very good produce. They are growing all sorts of fruits and vegetables. So they feel such a project could have come up on a barren land somewhere else instead of this place. Is it actually true that this land is fertile, or is there some ambiguity on that area?
You see, I think only 20 or some percent is not fertile. The Bairamangala region, where farmers accuse also, that Rishabhavati and Bairamangala lake being polluted and toxic vegetables or fruits being grown. I think it's only about 20% or something. But other than 80%, what I've observed and farmers say is that they grow around 5 lakh coconut trees and over 50,000 cattle, and they supply around 6 lakh liters of milk to the city every month. So, and thousands of mulberry plantations too. I've observed it.
Multi-crop a year, mangoes, coconuts. They call themselves as rich farmers.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And even the young and educated, the new second generation farmers who are working with their fathers and mothers, they're working in the city as tech professionals, and they're going back to their fields in the weekends, and they grow a crop a year, and they do earn some money out of it.
Right. Okay. Naveen, tell me one thing. One of the most fascinating things to me about this entire issue is that there is no real credible number with each side as to who is supporting this and how many people are opposing this. K Shivakumar claims 80% are supporting the project, whereas Kumaraswamy's claim is perhaps the opposite. So, is there any official data on how many are supporting this?
There is no official data. In fact, a month ago, when K Shivakumar said 80% are in favor, and Balkrishna, that is Magadi MLA, said 70%. So that number keeps varying. Ideally, it should be 80%, and then only they can go ahead with acquisition, but that number is not clear. So what some farmers are saying is that call for a public farmer voting. If the number of farmers are voting in favor of the project, then we are ready to stop the protest at all. So that's that's the feedback I have received.
So what this farmer leader says to me is that out of 8,000 farmers, 4,000 have written objections that they don't want to give up their land. So they have submitted it to the CM.
But what about the remaining 4,000 people? Are they in favor of it, or are they hesitating to speak openly against it?
That's I think they're hoping to get more out of it. More money they're demanding.
See, to woo these farmers, the compensation also is on the higher side. They are giving 2.5 crore per acre, which generally we don't see. Sarjapur they are acquiring Nelmangala, other places. The compensation is not as high as it is given to the farmers in Bidadi, purely because K Shivakumar wants to have a good image, and he has also once said, if this project will not be successful, I wouldn't have ventured into it, because he has so much more to lose in terms of political capital. So what I have also seen is that if there is somebody who is very strong, then the township becomes successful. When the farmers tend to suffer more is that the political decisions are very slow. But in this case also it is very difficult to fully go by what K Shivakumar is saying. I'll give you an example. Shivaram Karanth layout was ready almost 3 years back for allotment. When K Shivakumar was the Bangalore Development Minister last 3 years, he did not make any urgency to allot the land to the landowners and land losers. So they have been waiting for compensation for the last 4-5 years, and lot of people have no other income. So it shows that the chief minister may say so many rosy things, but there is an example here where he has not delivered, despite promising to despite acquiring their land, forming a layout, but not handing over the sites as compensation to the farmers.
Right.
So when they have not done it here, the question is, will they do it in Bidadi? That's a big question, because any delay, even if it is 6 months, 1 year, farmers, especially land losers, are going to struggle a lot.
Right, that's a very good point you make. Also Ashwin, since you are also very active on the ground in Devanahalli as well last year, when this entire issue of final notification for land acquisition, farmers were protesting for a very long time. I think 1198 days, and finally the government decided to withdraw the final notification and say only those who are willing to give the land can give. Now if you look at the reports today, the newspaper reports say that for those who are willingly giving their land, the government is giving as much as 2.7 crore per acre in Devanhalli. So is this an isolated incident, or could this in some way have some ramifications on Bidadi also? Or I mean, is it a way for the CM to say, look, if you also oblige with me, perhaps you could get 3 or 3.5 crores, please obey, or please cooperate with me so that even you can have a good share. Could that be on the government's agenda as well?
Yeah, sure. I think so. It can be a message in disguise for farmers to support this project.
What do you think, Naveen?
Yeah, this is definitely, and see, one is compensation, cash compensation. Many people don't benefit out of it because that is there. The running rate is 5 crore, 6 crore per acre. So this even 2.5 or 3, it doesn't matter. What I think a lot of farmers will opt is for the developed site in return. But again, here, if the farmer is well to do and has other income, then he can sustain for 2-3 years until the layout is ready to get a developed site. Otherwise, what happens is that the sites don't come and farmers struggle. So only in projects like this, townships, only the well-to-do farmers benefit because they have an appetite to wait for the compensation for a longer time. But others will end up selling their sites for cheaper rate.
So just one final question to you regarding this issue, because even in Devanhalli we saw when the international airport was being made, a lot of people got their lands for they sold it off for 35-40 lakhs, whereas now the rate is completely different. They are even getting 1 acre for 15 crores, 20 crores, things like that. So somewhere there, do you feel there is a sense amongst farmers as well that if we hold on to our land, the value could be something else?
No, that is not
later.
possible because see, this land is notified. So once notified, you can't have any transaction nor development. You can't even build a house and get a permanent electricity connection. So that is the reality. There will be the boom only when government drops this project entirely, and the chief minister is saying that he is not ready to denotify and go to jail. But that argument is not sustainable purely because if you denotify just 1 acre, 2 acre, there is a chance that the chief minister will go to jail. But if he denotifies the entire projects or drops the entire project, in fact, there will not be any legal ramifications.
Naveen, I think politically also it's very important, because if you see what just happened 1 week ago, we saw this entire cross-voting fiasco in the MLC elections, and the JDS was suffering a lot because at least 4 of its MLAs cross-voted against its own party, and they merely have 18 MLAs. So obviously HD Kumaraswamy is facing an existential crisis, because as the emerging Vokkaliga leader and as the chief minister, K Shivakumar has undoubtedly taken away a section of the Vokkaliga leaders as well as cadres from JDS towards him. So in that sense, Kumaraswamy is also perhaps potentially seeking a political revival here by coming back to the district which made him chief minister, which he named as Ramnagar, which was then again renamed by K Shivakumar as Bangalore South. So obviously there is politics in all these moves, as we can see. Also Kumaraswamy's son Nikhil Kumaraswamy, who lost a hat-trick of elections, first in Lok Sabha in Mandya, then in Ramnagar, and most recently in Channapatna, he is also trying to set a stage for his to emerge as a political leader, because obviously he will be contesting in 2028, and obviously he would want to be in a situation where he is already known and reasonably established. So my final question to you, how do you look at this entire issue playing out over the next 5-6 months? Do you really think the chief minister is going to budge and actually do some sort of a Devanhalli thing here, where farmers can only give up land if they are willing to? Or do you actually in trademark DK Shivakumar style, do you think he will go ahead with it?
I think it will be another Devanhalli kind of thing where he'll purge and he'll ask the farmers, whoever interested can.
For me, the answer is not easy. I will give you the reason. See, here a lot of layouts, well planned, whether it is Jayanagar, Banshankari, these layouts were formed by acquiring land for farmers, and these layouts have come out really well. So this and so is Shivaram Karant layout, and Bidadi Township. Once it happens, it will definitely have people will say a lot of good things because it will come out really well. But at what cost, and whose land is it? So it is the farmers who will suffer, and end of the day that question is not that I should answer, it is the farmers who are the land owners should have a final say on this.
Absolutely. Thank you Naveen, thank you Ashwin, and on that note we will conclude this discussion today. Keep watching Deccan Herald's YouTube channel for more such content. Thank you.